chapter 8. So today we're going to finish what we started with last week. We're talking about two kinds of emotions, that are most indicative of our relationship. Two of the emotions that are most indicative, predictive of where our relationships are and where they are headed. And we said that those two emotions are empathy. And we spent last week talking about what empathy is. Empathy is the ability to sense and absorb the energy in your environment. It's the ability to be able to sense, the emotions of other people and respect same. Put yourself in the same shoe, the same side that the others are, and relate with them in a way that you would want to be related with if you were in their shoes. Empathy is a place where we begin to live, the golden rule, right? The golden rule is that do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. So empathy is our place where we switch position with the person we're relating with, and we similarly take in the energy their energy and similarly relate accordingly, to where they are. It's as it were, we come down to their level and relate with them at that level. We're not throwing things across the fence. We're not walking in silos, but we join with others in the same silo where they are and relate with them accordingly, right? That's what empathy is, and we'll spend the whole of last Sunday talking around that. We also emphasize also that there's a personality type, that is called the empath. The empath, that's empathy without the Y. Empaths are people, that embody this emotion, right? There are people that are very sensitive to energy, in their environment and respond accordingly, right? And it's okay. It's okay, right? If they have their boundaries. The weakness of that personality type is that they could be enslaved by the energy, by the emotions of others, right? And I know that because I am one, right? You could be enslaved by the emotions of others, so it is a good thing to be an empath. Empathy is great. However, it has its boundaries, right? We're not here to solve world hunger, right? You are not God. You are not supposed to play God in other people's life. I have lived my life trying to play God in other people's life. It does not work because I don't have the same resources as God does. I am limited. I am human. I am limited. I am human. Irrespective of where my position is, I am limited. I am human. So I can only do according to the strength that I have. I can only operate according to the resources I have. And I also have priorities in my own life also. So I don't get carried away by the immediacy and forget about the things that are priority in my life. I don't get too carried away by the urgent that I miss the important things in my life, So those are, as it were, pitfalls of the empath, or pitfalls when you begin to operate or relate with the affection called empathy, right? And when you hear the emotion called empathy, it's a good one, but you have to have boundaries. You have to have boundaries, and those boundaries must honor the priorities in your life. You have to ahead of time determine what those priorities are and never allow those priorities to be at the mercy of the seeming urgent of the moment, right? Great. I'm not going to spend too much time repeating more what we did last week. Thanks, Uriel, for coming along. Good to have you. So thanks. Feel free to comment. Feel free to lend your voice to what we're sharing. We're here streaming on Instagram Live. When I'm done, it's going to be on my reel. We're also streaming on YouTube at the same time, and later on it's going to be posted on Facebook. So feel free. Thanks for coming along. Today we're going to talk about the other emotion, right? Is affection, and this is so important to me, so special to me. As much as I'm an empath, I kind of it kind of affects the way I relate with affections also. I'm I'm pretty much an emotional person. You know, you will expect that as an impact, right? But we'll share, and I'll share a bit of my life, and feel free to share yours also. Hope you learn something from it. It's a book we're looking at. It's A Good Life, and it's written by two guys, Robert Waldinger and Max Schultz. They are leads at the Harvard School for study of the adults, human adult development. They've been doing a study of what it takes to live a good quality life, what it takes to live a good life in terms of living long and having the breadth in that life, having the quality in that life. It's not just living long, but living a good long life, in health, in fulfillment, enjoyment, having a complete human experience for which we're here. And they've been trying to find that how. This study's been going on for more than 85 years. They've had several generations they've studied. And the result of the study is pretty much that what takes to have a good quality life is relationships. It's also having the right relationships in our life and making those relationships be quality relationship. It's not just having a relationship, but having quality relationship, having a quality interface with others, that is a win-win, where there's a cross flow across between each other, right? It's not a parasitic relationship. It's not a win-lose, a lose-win. It's a win-win or no deal. A relationship where there's a blessing of one another. What we call the paradox of a healthy relationship is one in which two or more people come together because of what they can give, not what they can get. What they can give, not what they can get. What they can give, not what they can get. They come together because of what they can give. However, what keeps that relationship alive, prosperous, life-giving, healthy, you know, is what they get, not what they give. It's a paradox. It's called a paradox of a healthy relationship. We come together because of what we can give, but what keeps us together and makes it quality and prolonged is what each person gets from it, not what they give. Right? So if we don't go into a relationship because of what we can get, but for what we can give. However, what keeps it together, what makes it quality is because of what we get then from it, not what we give, right? So we're talking about having quality relationship in in the different facets, different areas of our life, and if we do that, then we'll have a good life, right? And I've been had that conclusion. The book has also been taking us through how to have this quality relationship, quality, healthy relationship in the different areas of our life. Chapter 7 is pretty much talking about the one-to-one relationship, which is typically with your spouse, your partner, you know, so that's what we've been looking at, you know, more than focused on in chapter 7. Title of chapter 7 is The Person Beside You. It could also be used, for other one-to-one relationship, with your friend, your sister, your brother, your colleague, you know, you can use that in a wider spectrum, but the real focus is, in terms of you and your spouse, your partner, but everything that we talk about there relates to or every other one-to-one relationship in our lives, right? So we've been going through different parts here, and we this is our seventh take, and pretty much the quote we've been using to run this chapter has been this quote talking about the importance of being vulnerable. You can't have a relationship unless you're vulnerable. The theme between you and someone else must allow a flow from both sides. The flow from you to them to you. If you're not vulnerable, you can have a relationship. A lot of people, close up because someone hurt them, right? Because someone hurt them, they are forever a prisoner. Because someone hurt them, they feel like, oh, the way not for someone not to hurt me is to just shut it. What? Yeah, you're shutting away from hurt, but you're also shutting away from love. You're shutting away from love, because it's that same place through which love comes in. The same place through which hurt comes in is the same way through which love comes in. You cannot shut it in. If you shut it all together, you will live less than human. You cannot live a complete life without others. The essence of our life is not found inside of us, nor is it found in any of our pets. The essence of a human life is not in your pet. Your dog, your cat cannot replace other human beings. To live to the fullness of being human, the fullness to which you were created, you need other human beings in your life, not pets. Yes, pets have their own place, but they will never replace another human being, right? If someone has hurt you before, learn the lesson from it and do better next time. Engage better next time. Don't shut yourself away from engagement. Don't be a prisoner to your experience. Rather, use your experience to 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 um to transcend, to as a catalyst to live a better life, a higher life. Let it explode you to something better, much, much better than you could ever have, not imprison you, right? So vulnerable, you have to be vulnerable. The extent to which you're vulnerable is the extent to which you will relate to someone else. You're not going to be able to relate with a closed door, right? And we last week we looked again, as we did about some 3 weeks ago, on emotions. We kind of introduced that emotions, right? Um, we're not just looking at emotions because we're emotional beings. The only way we can relate to others is because of our emotions. Robots don't have emotions, so they cannot have human relationship, right? What makes us be able to relate with another person is emotions, is the energy in motion. Right? We create energy that flow between us and others, and that is what keeps relationships alive or dead, right? So, excuse me. The American Psychological Association, defines emotions as a conscious mental reaction. It is conscious, it's not unconscious. You have to be alive to it. If you're not alive to your emotions, it's not emotion. So people that are depressed, you know, similarly don't have emotions. They they their sensitivities are depressed, right? Emotions requires you to be conscious mentally, and you are reacting to something, right? Because emotion is simply energy in motion. Emotion is simply energy, right? So it's a conscious mental reaction, which is subjective, it's not objective. It doesn't have a sense or direction of its own. That energy gets created because someone did something, someone initiated something. Emotions don't just happen of their own accord. They are reacting to something that someone did. Someone did something, therefore, that thing created or caused energy to be made available. Energy, because energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So that energy came from something. Someone did something, and as a result of that, energy got moved from one form to another. That energy that was available then, and emotional energy can come from in different form, right? The sexual energy also, you know, which is an emotion. Sexual energy is an emotion, right? Uh, so emotion is a conscious mental reaction which has no sense nor direction of its own, right? And we experience it as strong feelings, which could be towards anything, an object, a flower, a person, and typically it includes some kind of feeling in our body, and changes it tries to influence some changes in our body, but it's up to us then to direct that energy. If we don't direct that energy, it kill us. It will make us slaves, right? But our right place is to use emotions, not allow emotions to use us. When emotions uses us, we're said to have lost our senses, whereas it were mad. We have lost our mind, right? When your mind is in the right place, when you have your mind together, you use your emotions. Your emotions does not use you. A sound mind is one that holds the emotions together and gives the emotions direction and sense. When the emotions control you, you are said not to have a sound mind. Scripture, the Bible says that he that cannot control his feelings is like a city without walls, a city that has no protection, right? So emotions are things we should control. They're meant for us to control. When it comes to relationships, emotions drive relationships. You can't say you have a relation with someone you don't have any feelings for or any emotions towards, or if you're dead towards a person, then there's nothing between you, whether it be friendship or whatever else, Not every type of emotion is equally predictive of the health of a relationship. We talked about that last week, but we said there are two main ones, and those are empathy and affection. And we spent our time last week talking about what empathy is. Today, we're going to focus on affection. What are affections, right? Affection is a gentle feeling of warmth. So when you have an affection towards someone, you have a warmth. When they mention the person's name, when the person touches you, or when the memory of the person comes to you, you have a certain feeling of coming alive, right? Affection is a gentle feeling of warmth, a gentle feeling of coming alive, of caring. Someone they mention that person's name and you want to hear more. Damn, you want to hear more. You see that person you want to see again. Affection is a gentle feeling of warmth, of coming alive, of caring, of liking, of liking. If you have affection towards that person, you like the person. If you have affection towards a person, you care about the person, right? And fondness, right? You are fond of the person. You want to be where that person is. You want to be close to that person. You want to touch that person. You want to hear that person. You want that person to see you. You want that person to touch you. You want that person to mention your name. You know. So, when you have all of these, that's what affection is, right? So it's also the action or process of affecting or being affected. I love that. Affection, if you have affection towards a person and you're affected by that person, you're not indifferent to that person, right? When you're indifferent to a person or thing, you have no affections toward that person. But if that a person or thing affects you, changes your mood, makes you torn, makes you come alive, makes you interested, then you have an affection towards that thing. You care about that pet thing, you mind that thing, you like that thing, you are fond of that thing, you have a warm feeling towards that thing, and that is called affection, right? That's what affection is simply. It's being affected by something, being fond of something, liking something, you know. The different ways in which we show affection, right? Some of it is by organ, you know. I love organ people. Even when I worked in a place where it could be prohibited, I have to ask permission to org, I love hugging. I'm a hugging machine. You know, anyone who knows me knows I love hugging, right? But I have to be careful also in hugging. Also, unless it gets interpreted as something else, you know. So because I love hugging, just tells you I'm affected by people. I love people. I love people. That's been my life. Always been my life. I love people. You know, I'm an empath. Don't forget. You know, I get absorbed by the emotions of others. You know, but I love hugging. Yeah, and that's one of the ways we show affection by hugging someone, you know, by kissing someone, you know, whether it be a romantic kiss, a platonic kiss, a French kiss, or whatever. But that's one of the ways we show affection, right? You kiss someone's forehead, you kiss someone's cheek, you kiss someone's hand. You know, you're just saying that you're affected by that person, or and you're wanting that person to be affected by you also. You know, another way we show is by cuddling, you know, just cuddling, just holding somebody, you know. And I do that, you know, just holding somebody, just giving the person warmth, you know. It's or being warmed up by somebody, you know. Also by holding hands, right? A lot of people show that by holding hands, you know, when they're walking the street, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, you know, holding hands, just a way to show I care, I love you, you know, and I'm showing it to the whole world that I'm affected by you, you know. So that's another way. Those are ways of showing affection, hugging, kissing, cuddling, holding hands, you know.